piece many of you I'm sure have not heard, called Kalynda, which was by one of my all-time favorite bands, Renaissance. Now this is a little later incarnation of Renaissance. Well, they made a few albums, well, a much later incarnation, 1979, when progressive rock was kind of dying and heading into, well, a lot of progressive bands were doing shorter, more melodic songs. And that's what happened with Renaissance. This is their, what I would consider their 7th album of that group, Azure, and it had a lot of shorter tunes on it, none of the epics that had fancy orchestration and pyrotechnic piano playing and cool stuff. But this is just a beautiful tune written by their bass player, Jon Camp, which, and he didn't write many of the songs. Most of them were written by Michael Dunford, who was the guitar player, and a lyricist named Betty Thatcher. But she, anyway, I'll get back to that later. So the thing that's kind of cool about this song is it was done with a 12-string guitar, and Michael just played little arpeggios. And we're going to look at the chord progression. There's some unusual and a little bit of an unusual time change in here, but we're also going to talk about learning the melody and incorporating it into the little instrumental part that I played right there. Not note for note, but just by knowing the melody and knowing the chord progression, piecing it together. So a lot of things that we'll be looking at here in Kalynda. So it was good to see a request for this on the site. Now this is a song I actually played in something a couple of years ago. It's just sort of a little experimental improv thing, and a few of you recognized it. But this time we're going to take a real look at Kalynda. Well, that was the first segment I did on a lesson at TotallyGuitars as part of the Target program on the Renaissance tune Kalynda from their 1979 album Azure. And it is, the lesson was kind of an experiment for me because I worked on a lot of different things, but one of them was just playing the rhythm first, understanding the chords, and then playing the melody. Working on incorporating that into your own instrumental. So this is the kind of thing that some of our lessons at TotallyGuitars have kind of out there techniques, and that's what's going on here. So if you'd like to check out the rest of this lesson, be sure to come visit us at TotallyGuitars. There are a lot of other free lessons. This is not a beginning lesson because there's a lot of stuff up in the air that you have to figure out for yourself. How to do some right hand stuff, how to find chords. You have to know the names of the chords, know the names of the notes. So a little bit more intermediate to advanced lesson on Kalynda. We also have a lot of easier and free lessons that help build up the techniques that you need to do this. But if you'd like to check out the lesson on Kalynda, have a couple of other Renaissance tunes up there too, Ocean Gypsy right now, and a few others kind of in the works. So if you're a Renaissance fan and would like to learn a little bit more about some of their songs, be sure to come over and check out the Target program at TotallyGuitars.